For decades, protein has been praised as the ultimate building block of life, the magic key to muscle growth, energy, and a lean body. Fitness influencers, supplement brands, and even nutrition gurus have repeated one mantra: you can never have too much protein. It sounds convincing, especially when we associate protein with strength and vitality. But science tells a more complex story, one that most people never hear. The truth is, protein is essential, but it's not limitless. Our bodies have a threshold, a point where the benefits stop and the strain begins. When you consume more than your system can use, that excess doesn't just vanish. It turns into metabolic waste, forcing your organs to work overtime to break it down and eliminate it. It's like overloading a factory with raw materials. At first, it runs faster, but soon the machinery starts to wear out. Most people don't realize that every gram of protein needs processing. The body converts amino acids, removes nitrogen, and then filters everything through the liver and kidneys. That's a lot of internal labor, and when the input never stops, those organs eventually struggle to keep up. What once fueled your progress can quietly begin to undermine it. And here's the irony. In chasing the perfect diet, many people end up stressing the very systems that keep them alive. Protein is powerful, but perfection isn't about having more, it's about finding balance. And as you're about to see, the body has its own way of warning when it's had enough. At first, eating high-protein meals feels incredible. You feel stronger, more focused, and even notice quicker recovery after workouts. But as the days go by, something changes. Your energy starts to dip, your digestion slows, and you begin to feel heavier rather than leaner. That's your body's way of saying, "I'm overloaded." You see, the body is not a storage tank for protein. It can't save extra amino acids for later use like it does with fat or carbohydrates. Instead, the excess must be converted into other compounds or excreted, processes that cost energy and hydration. Over time, this constant conversion becomes a burden, silently draining your vitality. Many people mistake this exhaustion for not eating enough, when in reality, they're eating too much of one thing. High-protein diets often pull your metabolism out of balance, raising nitrogen levels in your blood and forcing your organs to work harder than they should. It's like keeping a car engine redlining for hours. Eventually, something gives out. The most fascinating part? The symptoms often start small: dry mouth, headaches, bloating, or constant fatigue. Most people ignore them, until one day they realize their body has been whispering warnings all along. When you eat protein, your digestive system breaks it into amino acids, the molecular pieces that build your muscles, hormones, and tissues. But when there's too much, those amino acids flood your bloodstream. The liver then converts their excess nitrogen into ammonia, which is toxic. To protect you, the body quickly turns that ammonia into urea, which must be eliminated through urine. This process might sound simple, but it's surprisingly demanding. It requires a significant amount of water and energy. That's why people on extremely high-protein diets often feel thirsty, fatigued, or irritable. Their bodies are burning through hydration just to stay balanced, all while straining the kidneys to filter out the waste. Over time, that constant filtration can create subtle imbalances. Your kidneys, which are designed to handle a normal load, begin working around the clock. Your liver burns extra energy managing ammonia. Meanwhile, your muscles, ironically, might start breaking down protein faster than they build it. It's a biological paradox. You chase muscle growth, but the cost of the chase begins to undo your progress. Inside your body, it's a delicate chemical dance, and when one step goes too far, the entire rhythm of your metabolism stumbles. Your liver and kidneys are the true heroes of protein metabolism, but they rarely get credit for it. Every time you eat a high-protein meal, these organs go into overdrive to clean up the aftermath. The liver must detoxify the ammonia from amino acids, while the kidneys must remove the resulting urea through urine. It's an elegant system, but it was never designed for constant overload. When protein intake remains high for weeks or months, both organs begin to experience wear and tear. Studies show that long-term high-protein diets can increase the kidney's filtration rate, a sign that they're under stress. For healthy people, this might not cause immediate problems, but it's like revving a car engine every single day. Eventually, even the best engines show cracks. The liver, on the other hand, bears the brunt of metabolic conversion. It processes not only amino acids, but also fats and carbohydrates at the same time. Pushing it beyond its limits can lead to inflammation or fat accumulation, conditions that often go unnoticed until they become serious. So while protein builds your muscles, it also builds pressure, silent, internal pressure that takes months or even years to show itself. The key is not fear, but awareness. Your strongest organs deserve protection too. Here's where the science turns truly intriguing and slightly alarming. Every molecule of protein contains nitrogen. When your body metabolizes too much of it, nitrogen compounds start to accumulate in your system. That buildup subtly changes your internal chemistry, making your blood slightly more acidic and disrupting your electrolyte balance. This invisible shift can trigger a chain of reactions: dehydration, mood swings, poor sleep, and even hormonal imbalance. Some studies show that elevated nitrogen levels can raise cortisol, the stress hormone, leaving you anxious or restless without knowing why. It's like having an invisible chemical storm quietly brewing inside your body. For athletes and gym enthusiasts, this can be deceptive. They might interpret the constant tension and fatigue as a sign that they need more protein, when in reality, it's the exact opposite. The more they eat, the worse the imbalance becomes, creating a cycle that's hard to break. The most dangerous part? Nitrogen overload doesn't hurt right away. It creeps in silently, layer by layer, until your body starts sending signals you can't ignore anymore. And by then, the damage may already be in motion. If you're learning something new here, hit that subscribe button right now. This channel breaks down the real science behind what happens inside your body every single day. One of the biggest reasons people overload on protein is the belief that more protein means more muscle. It's a promise that fuels the fitness industry, but biologically, it doesn't hold up. Your muscles don't grow just because you flood them with amino acids. They grow because of training, recovery, and a careful balance of nutrients that allow tissue repair and adaptation. When you go beyond what your body can use, you're not feeding growth, you're feeding waste. The human body has a limit to how much protein it can synthesize into muscle each day. Once that cap is reached, the rest doesn't magically turn into muscle fibers, it's burned for energy or converted into fat. In extreme cases, that metabolic conversion can even interfere with muscle performance, making workouts feel harder instead of more efficient. It's an uncomfortable truth that many gym goers don't want to hear. You can't out-eat physiology. Muscles grow from intelligent training and rest, not from endless protein shakes. When protein intake far exceeds what your body needs, it ends up stressing the very organs and tissues you're trying to strengthen. Ironically, the pursuit of faster gains can slow your progress. The body thrives on balance, not overload. True strength comes from knowing when enough is enough. Your digestive system is the first to protest when protein intake gets too high. Large amounts of animal protein, in particular, can slow digestion because they lack fiber, the element that keeps your gut moving. Over time, this creates the perfect storm for constipation, bloating, and an imbalance in your gut bacteria. Your microbiome, the ecosystem of trillions of bacteria living inside you, depends on variety. When protein dominates your diet, beneficial bacteria start to decline, while those that feed on undigested protein begin to flourish. These bacteria produce compounds like ammonia and hydrogen sulfide, which can lead to inflammation and that familiar heavy stomach feeling after a high-protein meal. There's also the issue of absorption. When digestion slows, the body doesn't extract nutrients efficiently, meaning you might actually absorb less from your food despite eating more. It's the biological equivalent of paying for a full tank of gas, but your car only accepts half.
What's fascinating is that your gut tries to warn you early, through gas, discomfort, or irregularity. Most people dismiss these signs as normal, when in truth, it's your microbiome crying for a bit of balance. A reminder that even the strongest diet needs diversity. Have you ever noticed how thirsty you become after a high-protein meal? That's not random, it's chemistry. When protein breaks down, it produces urea, which must be flushed out through urine. The more protein you eat, the more water your body needs to eliminate waste. Without sufficient hydration, you enter a state of mild dehydration that can snowball into fatigue, headaches, and reduced performance. This dehydration doesn't just affect how you feel, it affects how your cells function. Water is essential for muscle contraction, nutrient transport, and temperature regulation. When you're constantly flushing out fluids to deal with excess protein, your electrolyte balance gets disrupted, and your body starts to struggle maintaining stability. Athletes often mistake this dehydration for hunger or fatigue, leading them to eat even more protein instead of replenishing fluids. That vicious cycle leaves them feeling drained, dizzy, and sometimes lightheaded during workouts. And because the symptoms build slowly, they rarely connect the dots. In essence, high-protein diets without proper hydration turn your body into a system running on low coolant. Everything might look fine on the outside, but inside, the engine is overheating. Protein plays a role in maintaining bone health, but too much of it, especially from animal sources, can have the opposite effect. Excess protein increases acid production in the body. To neutralize this acidity, your body uses calcium, often drawn directly from your bones. Over time, that can weaken bone density, increasing the risk of fractures and long-term bone loss. This process is subtle but steady. You won't feel it happening day by day, but years of protein overload can shift your calcium balance in ways that make your skeleton more fragile. It's like slowly draining the foundation of a building without realizing it, until cracks start to appear. Some studies have shown that diets with excessive animal protein lead to higher calcium excretion through urine. That doesn't mean protein is the enemy, but it does mean balance is critical. Pairing protein with plenty of alkaline foods, like vegetables, fruits, and legumes, helps neutralize acid and protect your bones. So while the gym might make your muscles grow, what you eat determines whether your bones can carry that strength for decades to come. Muscles impress, but bones sustain. It sounds counterintuitive. Eating high-protein meals should give you energy, right? Yet many people on extreme protein diets report feeling sluggish and mentally foggy. That's because protein is not your body's preferred energy source. Carbohydrates are. When protein takes over your diet, you rob your brain and muscles of quick, accessible fuel. In the absence of enough carbohydrates, your body starts converting protein into glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis. It works, but it's inefficient, like burning furniture to heat your home. The result is fatigue, irritability, and even hormonal disruption as your body tries to keep up with energy demands. This constant state of energy shortage can make workouts feel heavier, recovery slower, and motivation weaker. Over time, it can even impact sleep and cognitive focus, leaving you wondering why your healthy diet is making you feel worse instead of better. Here's the twist. Your body was never designed to run on protein alone. Energy, endurance, and focus come from harmony, not from isolating a single nutrient. When you respect that balance, your performance, mood, and metabolism all rise together. You might not associate protein with your emotions, but science says you should. Excessive protein intake can subtly alter the balance of neurotransmitters, the brain's chemical messengers that control mood and sleep. When your body spends too much energy breaking down protein, it has less left for producing serotonin, the neurotransmitter that stabilizes mood and promotes relaxation. The result? Irritability, restlessness, and trouble falling asleep.
High-protein, low-carb diets can also reduce tryptophan absorption, the amino acid your brain uses to make serotonin and melatonin. Without enough of these compounds, your internal clock gets disrupted. You might find yourself feeling tired but unable to rest, wired but exhausted, a paradox that often leaves people confused about why they just don't feel right. Over time, this chemical imbalance can create a feedback loop. The less you sleep, the higher your stress hormones rise. The higher your stress hormones, the harder it becomes to rest.
It's a biological tug-of-war that no supplement or pre-workout powder can fix. So, if you're feeling moody, anxious, or chronically tired despite eating clean, it might not be your mind, it might be your metabolism asking for balance. The brain, like every other organ, thrives on equilibrium, not extremes. Your body is incredibly intelligent. It always sends warning signs before real damage occurs. When protein intake becomes excessive, those signals start quietly. Persistent thirst, dull headaches, or strange changes in urine color and odor. These aren't random. They're messages from your kidneys and liver asking you to slow down. As nitrogen levels rise and hydration drops, you may also notice muscle cramps, dry skin, or a constant sense of fatigue, even after sleeping well. These symptoms are often dismissed as normal side effects of hard training, but they're actually red flags. The body is trying to maintain balance while under metabolic stress. Another overlooked signal is mental fog. When too much protein crowds out carbs and healthy fats, your brain runs low on glucose, its preferred fuel. That's when concentration slips, reaction time slow, and motivation fades. You might think you need another protein shake, but what you truly need is variety and rest. The lesson here is simple. Listen to your body before it screams. The earlier you notice the whispers, the dry mouth, the fatigue, the tension, the easier it is to restore harmony before imbalance becomes illness. Here's the good news. Balance doesn't mean giving up progress. You can keep your muscles, your energy, and your health all at once. The key lies in understanding that protein works best when it's part of a complete nutritional orchestra. Your body needs carbs for energy, fats for hormones, fiber for digestion, and micronutrients for repair. Take one section away and the whole performance falls flat. Start by calculating how much protein your body actually needs. Most people thrive on about 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. Beyond that, the extra provides diminishing returns. By redistributing your calories to include more colorful vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats, you give your metabolism the variety it craves. Hydration is equally critical. For every gram of protein you eat, your kidneys need water to flush out the byproducts. That means drinking consistently throughout the day, not just during workouts. A hydrated body processes nutrients efficiently, performs better, and recovers faster. And here's something most people forget: rest. Muscles don't grow when you eat, they grow when you recover. Sleep, relaxation, and mental calm are as essential as your post-workout meal. The smartest athletes are not those who eat the most, but those who know when to stop. If you found this fascinating, you'll love our next science breakdown. What happens to your kidneys if you eat too much salt for 30 days? It connects perfectly with what we just explored here. Tap on it now and see what really happens when salt meets your kidneys. By now, you've seen that protein is not the villain, but it's not the superhero we were taught to worship either. It's a tool, powerful, transformative, but dangerous when misused. Your body needs enough to build, repair, and thrive, but too much turns that same power inward, creating stress instead of strength. The perfect protein point is different for everyone. It depends on your age, goals, activity level, and even genetics. What science shows is that balance, not excess, leads to long-term health. When protein, carbs, and fats coexist in harmony, your metabolism runs like a symphony, smooth, efficient, and sustainable. The next time someone tells you that you need more protein to get results, remember this: more is not always better, smarter is. Listen to your body, trust the science, and respect your limits. That's where real performance begins. Before we wrap up, tell me in the comments, have you ever tried a high-protein diet? Did it boost your energy or leave you more tired than before? I'd love to hear your experience. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video so more people can understand the science behind their food choices. Stay curious, stay balanced, and take care of your body. It's the only one you'll ever have.